So the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be facing a lot of different choices this offseason, obviously starting with the head coach as well as the general manager of the future and all that kind of stuff, right? Mike Vrabel's taken off the board, but still things are kind of wide open for kind of things for the Detroit Lions, OC and DC and Aaron Glenn and Johnson respectively. But overall, there's a question we had thought of the other day where I understand that the usual side of things is getting a new general manager, a new head coach, getting your quarterback in the future, and going from there. I mean, just look at what the Commanders did last year. Obviously Dan Quinn has been a really good addition to that team, Jaden Daniels, and the list goes on, right? But I think there's a bigger question we have to ask ourselves here, where I understand that you have to get leadership, you have to build a foundation, and you have to get a culture into the building that makes sense. But at the same time, can you do all of that and not necessarily get a franchise quarterback? Because right now the Raiders currently sit with the 6th overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, and they're probably going to have to trade up for either if they want to go for Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. They're probably going to have to trade up, if I'm being perfectly honest. So does that mean that they are in line for a quarterback this year? Maybe. I think that they're obviously going to do their homework, and there's going to be a lot of different things that they look into. But even if they don't, could they be one of those teams, like the 49ers? Yes, Kyle Shanahan out there making a team really without a quarterback because let's face it, Brock Purdy being a 7th-round pick, like he clearly wasn't thought of to be the guy. That was Trey Lance, and he's come around and Brock Purdy's played pretty well for the 49ers, and so I do think that there is some validation there as to could the Raiders find themselves where they either draft a quarterback or build around one, and it's not like they're completely bare. Like this team needs talent. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but they do have some things. So Brock Bowers, arguably the best tight end in the NFL right now. Also, they have the number 6 overall pick. So, I mean, T-Mac, maybe, coming up out of Arizona. And we do have a defense with pieces where, obviously, yes, you've got Max Crosby. I think he's going to be back. Obviously, you've also got Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz. If and when you re-sign him, you will re-sign him. You've also got Tyree Wilson. So, you've got some pieces along the defensive line. You got Robert Spillane there manning the middle, which I think is definitely, I think he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL, as well as the back end, where if you bring back Trayvon Morgan, like you've got some pieces here. And I think with the right head coach and the right defensive mindset, I think you could make some noise here. And, for the quarterbacks this year, like I said, I don't know what to think about Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. I really don't. I do think that Cam Ward, if I'm being honest, I do think Cam Ward is I don't want to say cream de la crop, but I would argue that he's probably a better case, or he's going to make a better case for being a first-round pick or first overall pick than Shedeur Sanders at this point. But, I mean, could you see a situation where you do get a Will Johnson or a T-Mac with the 6th overall pick, and then next year it's the Quinn Ewers, geez, good Lord. It's the Arch Manning or the, now I get this wrong because people laugh at me all the time, but I want to say it's Nico Iamaleava. That's not even close to correct, but Nico I, for those of you that actually watch the show and have been with us for a little while. So you got Nico I, and you've also got, maybe it is Quinn Ewers next year. I don't know, but Arch Manning is probably going to be up there next year. And I do think that there's a good list of quarterbacks that could make it next year that make it worth being a top 10 overall pick. And so, the Raiders, like I said, I understand that you want to get your franchise quarterback in. You got to do it from an excitement standpoint. You got to get weapons around him and everything. But the Raiders have started doing that, especially with Brock Bowers. Jacoby Myers is respectable, as well as, I do think that Trey Tucker is going to be a really good number 3 wide receiver in the NFL. But, that becomes ultimately the question. Could we see the Raiders draft a quarterback this year, or maybe we build around the quarterback of the future for next year, or, whatever it is. So, but let us know what you guys think. Should the Raiders draft a quarterback this year, or should they continue to build around potentially Aiden O'Connell, or just get prepared to build around a future franchise quarterback? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.